Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. Today is Friday, January the 7th, 2011, and this video is for the week ahead. Okay, last week we told you looking at Australia's overall market average here, you can see that we had some weakness right here and told you to be leery of that, and this has actually followed in that particular pattern pulling down here. We don't have a sell signal here. This is just a retracement at this point, so you're not going to be selling this. You're still in the uptrend, overall uptrend of this particular average, so you would just be cautious here. Like I said before, this is a bullish engulfing signal, bullishly engulfing this previous candlestick here. This would be the buy signal. This is what we're looking for on the buy side. So you'd be a buyer here with a stop here. You continue to trade that way until you start seeing some weakness, then you just exit. So we've done that. We're just sitting on the sidelines here waiting for something to appear, either a sell signal or a buy signal. But until that happens, we're not interested on either side of the trade. Okay, on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, this was our last buy signal right here, a bullish engulfing of the previous candlestick. So you'd be a buyer here on that, after this week's candlestick formation to stop right there. You've had a few weeks to the upside. We told you last week you'd still be a holder of this one. She's still in the overall uptrend. She got higher highs and higher lows and higher closes. So there's no reason, even with this week, to change that strategy, though you are getting long in the tooth here. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive weeks to the upside here, and no trend goes straight up. So we'll be looking for that to roll over, but it doesn't have to happen immediately. So right now it's still a hold, still you can still be long at Dow Jones Industrial Average. You'll notice the RSI, which signals strong overbought and oversold conditions on occasion. This is at 68.07. It has to hit 70 or higher to signal that extreme overbought condition, and it's not there yet, so she could still press higher. But in every situation that you're trading, you always take your stop and advance it as your move continues to go. So you just keep advancing the stop loss limit until sooner or later you're reversed out of it. Okay, here's a quick look here at gold. Now this is interesting because you have had a uptrend here that started here. You had a buy signal right there, bullish engulfing. You advanced up to here, had some weakness. You could have exited at this point. You had another buy signal the following week. You could have got back in here, stop here, advances along, and then you get a sell signal here, which just ended the uptrend that you had going on here and just moved sideways. And this has continued to be the case for a while until now. Looking at this chart, you can see that you had a bullish move to the upside here, and then a bearish move to the downside here. Very bearish, in fact, bearishly engulfing the entire thing. You've already broke the uptrend line here, so this is actually a sell signal. You would be a seller here with a stop right there, okay? It's feasible that you could actually fall to test this trend line here, all right? Get some idea. I'm not going to actually short precious metals. It doesn't make sense to me from a fundamental standpoint with the Fed printing money and so forth and so on. So I'm not going to be playing that trade, but I could use other opportunities based on the fact that the metals could actually pull back here. Just a quick look here at the Hang Seng, Hong Kong Hang Seng Index. And this is the chart we told you last week was the strongest opportunity we saw out there. Nice bullish engulfing signal here, bullish engulfing the previous candlestick. You'd be a buyer here with a stop right there. She took off and gained about 700 points for the week, pulled back a little bit on the last trading day, but still a strong candlestick to the upside, and she could continue to press higher. In any event, you would always advance your stop to lock in a minimum gain no matter what. Okay, it's always, you're just basically trading here. You're not calling what it's going to do for forever. Just advance the stop when you've got the money on the table there. Okay, this is a nice chart. I like it. Like I said before, you had resistance at this level here, here. Okay, right here, and so you had resistance here. Pulled back to here, bounced up, hit it again, pulled back down, ran up here again and broke through it, and then resistance began acting as support. So you bouncing off that would make sense. We also issued a perfect stock alert on our website at perfectstockalert.com based on a play on the Asia markets, and it performed 90% in a week. So pretty pleased with that, and I still see potential out there. Okay, a quick look here at the BSE, the India Bombay Stock Exchange. We told you last week we're neither bullish nor bearish on it. Hadn't obtained a really good quality buy signal there. And our last signal prior to that was a major sell signal right there. So you would have put the stop right here with the short signal there, and you would have sold off for a few weeks before you got bounced out, kicked out of that. Well, now you've got another one, a bearish engulfing signal here. The stop would go here. You'd be a seller here expecting this uptrend line to break down right there. Okay, so expect that next week. A quick look here at the London Financial Times Index. This one's tried to pull around and form a bullish engulfing, but couldn't hold it to the close, and she pulled back down. Remember, each one of these candlesticks is 1 week of activity. This is a 1-year weekly chart, and in this particular case, you had a bullish buy signal here. You would have been a buyer there. The stop right there. She advanced for a few weeks. She advanced your stop along the way. You get some weakness. Last week we told you we would neither be a buyer of this or a seller because it's not a sell signal, and that's exactly what happened. You continued to bounce around it here, so we wouldn't be a buyer, but it's having some signals here like weakness, and we're going to keep an eye on this. But until we get a clearly defined sell signal, which would be a bearish engulfing like this, we cannot be bearish on it as of yet. Okay. Quick look here at the NASDAQ. We told you last week this one was showing some weakness right here, but she just pulled back down to that uptrend line. She was still in that uptrend line, and therefore not technically over with the uptrend there. So it could have broke either way. In this particular case, it gaps up and moves to the upside. But this is like the Canadian chart we showed you last week. Don't chase it because you're already over the 70 line. You're at 72.22. You don't want to be chasing whenever your price activity, if you get kicked out or stopped out or whatever early and she keeps pressing higher, go find better opportunities. Don't chase them when they're overbought in these conditions because they tend to be where you're going to be finding your peak at. So you don't want to be buying at that point. Okay, wait for a quality buy opportunity or a quality sell opportunity. You have neither with this one, so I would simply avoid the NASDAQ for the time being. Oil has had a nice move since the buy signal at this point here. A nice advance for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Even this week, you're still moving to the upside. You have a higher high, higher. This candlestick's high is higher than the previous, and the low point is higher than the previous. She's still in a very good uptrend. Everything makes sense there. You are seeing this wick out of the top or shadow coming out of the top of this needle out of this candlestick. That is showing some sell pressure at this level, and it makes sense because you're above that 70 line. You're at 72.07 on the RSI indicator. And it signals extremely overbought conditions, so that would be making sense there. So advance the stop loss limit as you go, but don't necessarily jump out just because she's getting that way. She can stay that way for a while, so she may turn around next week, but don't never jump out just because it's getting to that point. Let it kick you out. All right. All right, a quick look here at the Russell 2000 Small Cap Index. Did the same thing as the NASDAQ did last week, showing a little bit of weakness. So you would have advanced your stop loss limit to this point or just exited. And in this particular case, you wouldn't have had any other choice but to have been stopped out as the following week. You got to pull back down to kicking you out, and then she tried to move higher here. It doesn't matter if she continues to move higher or not. You're over 71 or you're over 70, so at that point you're chasing into an extremely overbought condition. So we're not going to be doing that. We're neither a buyer nor a seller of this particular index at the moment. Again, we don't start selling until we get a nice sell signal here, and we don't have one. As we said last week, we'll say again this week, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average seem to be the strongest charts in the U.S., but they're all getting a bit overextended. But again, the S&P can still be held, and so can the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Here was your buy signal here. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive weeks to the upside. You keep moving your stop loss limit up to the low of each candlestick, but you'll notice 70.67. All right, you're getting up there to overextend it. You can start expecting to see reversals once you get up there. Okay, so that's what we're looking for here. You can still press higher, but the main thing to focus on here is don't anticipate what it's going to do. Just follow what it's doing. Make money on the current trend in play. The silver chart here definitely confirming the gold chart. Same bearish engulfing signal. That'd be a sell signal right there. I would not short any metals, like I've said before, and this particular chart is very bullish, so I wouldn't be shorting it at all. And any pullback you got, any major amount of it, is likely to find buy pressure in there, especially on a bullish chart formation like this. Okay, last week we talked about TSX, Canada's markets. Told you even though she was still advancing to the upside, she had stopped you out back here. You didn't want to chase it because she was overextended above the RSI 70 line, so you don't want to be chasing that, and this is a perfect example as to why that is. Had you been chasing, just seen this move to the upside and said, I'm going to buy here or here, you just got erased. You either got stopped out with a very, very small gain or a loss, and you don't want to be doing that. So now you have a nice sell signal. You can put a stop right here, short there, expect this uptrend line here to be tested, possibly broken, and then you could fall as low as this following trend line here, okay? Quick recap here of the overall global market picture. We're not seeing a lot of buy signals. In fact, I don't see any new buy signals. Last week we had the Hang Seng. This week we don't have one, though we do have some new sell signals. So be looking for a mixed bag, but definitely be recognizing that these markets are showing that they are overextended and in need of a pullback. Pullbacks are good things. They provide opportunities for traders at the downside and opportunities for buyers on the upside whenever you get a market has that had a moment to pull back and catch its breath. Okay, so you can trade either way, but make sure the signal confirms your call, bullish or bearish. Look for the opportunities that fit your particular style. Last week we made a trade in our portfolio, made money on that. We will do another one on Monday. We're going to keep doing that every single week, but it's always going to be determined by whatever signals we have currently in the market. We're trading the trend that we're in now. Should also be noted we do have another perfect stock alert coming out this weekend. For anybody who wants to check that out, you can do that at our free website at perfectstockalert.com. 100% free service. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. A quick look at our disclaimer. There's the disclaimer. Read it and weep. God bless. Take care. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week.